Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Pearls of Wisdom, where we share pearls of wisdom for you guys. And since I'm a Gemini, I like to keep things spicy and interesting. I don't like to make the same type of video every day. I don't feel like doing a divine download. I kind of do, but I also want to keep things interesting. So instead of channeling a divine download today, what I have for you guys is I'm going to talk about my meditation journey and what meditation means to me and why I meditate every single day. This is a topic that really lights me up. I am such an advocate for meditation. Well, I don't know about advocate, but I guess now after posting this video, I will be. I guess more so I could call myself a practitioner of meditation. I've been practicing meditation for upwards of 15 years now, ever since I was in, I probably meditated for the first time when I was 12 years old, thanks to my mom. Shout out, Mom. And her own healing and meditation journey that she went on in her 20s. And it just became such a powerful practice for her that she decided to pass it down to her children and really instill that in me as a really important tool for visualizing your success, finding balance, and getting some deep, deep rest. Guys, I love to meditate. I meditate every single day. And yeah, let's just start from the beginning. So when I was in high school, I would say, or middle school, and I would be really nervous for a test, or I would be really nervous for a ski race or something, my mom would lead me through a meditation. She would be the guide, and she would have me visualize all the different parts of my body, relaxing, so you get into a meditative state. And once you're in the meditative state, then you can visualize yourself succeeding in whatever you're nervous about, or maybe you can visualize your stress dissolving, or meditation is just the best stress relief tool, but it's also very powerful for manifesting, because if you can get into the meditative state and then you can visualize what you want, that's like telling the universe, hey, I'm aligned with this. I can visualize it in my mind's eye, so it's gonna come into my reality since I'm seeing it in my mind first. So yeah, it really helped me. I would do it from time to time. And then in high school, I would say I wasn't spiritually awakened yet, but I was definitely fascinated by spirituality. I had a Tumblr blog with, at its peak, 69,420 followers. And the basis of my blog was the environment, nature, and spirituality. So if that gives you any clues to who I am and the path that I've been on for a very long time. It literally started in middle school. I haven't changed. I've only grown into it deeper and finally found a voice to be able to share it with the world. So I literally had a part of my blog that was called My Meditation Tips. And I was literally like 16 years old. I just laugh because I've come so far since then. And in high school, I just dabbled in meditation. I just did it from time to time. In college, I just did it from time to time. And here's my where the big transition of my meditation journey has lied, which is I used to meditate as a solution to my problems. So I would only meditate as a prescription to a symptom, right? If I was stressed out, if I was depressed, if I couldn't sleep, if I wanted to manifest something that wasn't happening in my life, I would just go onto YouTube and look up guided meditation for stress relief, guided meditation for better sleep, guided meditation for creativity, guided meditation for this, right? Like it was kind of just a prescription versus a preemptive measure. So this is where I am now. I meditate every single day as a preemptive measure, because if you meditate every single day and not just when you are in a crisis, you're probably going to prevent yourself from even getting a crisis in the first place. It's kind of like just how health works. You take preventative measures so you don't get sick. You don't just meditate when you get sick or your mind is sick. You do it as a preventative measure every single day. And it's such a powerful medicine. Oh my gosh, especially in this day and age where everyone is overstimulated so much of the time. It's disgusting. It's so bad for our brains. It's literally so bad for our brains. Meditation, number fucking one hero in reversing overstimulation. People always talk about how when we are resting, but we're actually just scrolling on our phones, our minds are still so overstimulated that we're not resting at all. Like you're maybe like helping your body a little bit by like lying down, but if your mind is still activated and overstimulated, that does not count as active rest. That is good for you. So the number one way you can truly rest without taking a nap, you can take a nap, of course. No one's stopping you from taking a nap. But another way to like truly get into a deeply restful state for your mind is to meditate. And there's so many different types of meditations. There's so many ways you can meditate. There's so many tools out there on the internet, on YouTube, guided meditations, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. There is literally a meditation out there for every single person at every single level of their journey. And I started on YouTube. I mean, I started with my mom, but then once I started doing it on my own, I just would go on YouTube and follow a guide, and it's so simple. All right. So now that I've talked a little bit about meditation and how I started out and where I was on the middle of my journey, now I get to the good stuff, which is I did a 10-day silent meditation retreat 1 year ago that completely changed the game and changed my entire life. Like I could literally cry because it's the most challenging thing I've ever done and like the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my entire life, my entire existence by far. Not talking for 10 days. We weren't allowed to read. We weren't allowed to write. We weren't allowed to talk. We weren't allowed to exercise. We weren't allowed to interact with anyone else there. It was quite boring, to say the least, because as people that in a society where we're constantly overstimulated all the time, it's scary to do nothing and to surrender to your own mind. And we meditated for 10 hours a day for 100 hours total in the 10 days. It was so crazy. We would wake up at 4 a.m. and start meditating, and we would keep meditating until 9 o'clock at night when it was time for bed. And we would have like 2 breaks for meals, 1 hour each, and then maybe like 1 or 2 also pretty short breaks where you could walk around in silence or you could take a nap or something. But it was mostly just meditating. And the type of meditation that we learned was unlike any meditation technique that I had ever done in my entire life. It's called Vipassana. It is very similar to a body scan, and it's very rooted in Buddhism. There is so much to it that I feel like you just have to go to the course and learn it if you want to learn more about it, because it would probably take me 100 hours to explain the theory behind it. But the really cool thing that ended up, so the gist of it is observing the sensations in your body, the subtlest vibrations that we are just not aware of in our conscious day-to-day state. But when you take out the music, when you take out the conversations, when you take out the interactions, when you take out the work, when you take out the hustle, when you take out the bustle, when you take out literally fucking everything, and it is just your own internal vibration, yeah, you can get really fucking deep in your body and you feel just like the slightest, like you don't, in Vipassana, you don't even like intentionally breathe in and out. They just ask you to observe your natural shallow breath out of your nostrils for 10 hours a day, you guys. Like that, the first day I was going crazy. I'm like, why are we doing this? This makes no sense. And then at night we would have a 1 hour discourse or lecture. It's like a black and white video. They said this is not for entertainment purposes. This is for educational purposes, only for you to understand why we were asking you to do such a crazy thing for 10 days. So that is how I learned like so much of the theory, or that's how I learned all of the theory, right? Because for 10 hours a day we were practicing, and then for 1 hour a day we learned the theory behind the practice. And it's very rooted in science, it's very rooted in Buddhism, and you can go extremely deep within yourself if you are not moving a single muscle. It was so crazy. It was so crazy and so cool. And then I gotta say that like coming back to reality after an experience like that was just, it was really cool to see how my reality changed, but also it was, kind of sad. Like, oh my God, now I have to go back to work. Oh my God, now I have all these like social obligations to attend to every single day of my life. Like, it was so nice living like a monk for 10 days. I miss it every day. I practice it every day. And here is the coolest shit. Here is the coolest shit that I could have never expected in a million years. And of course, everyone's experience at Vipassana or a 10-day silent meditation retreat is going to be different. So this was only for me, myself, and my own experience. But actually, recently, I made a new friend who also went to Vipassana, and he said he experienced this too. So it was very validating, because the biggest transformation that occurred after I sat in silent meditation for 10 days was the unraveling of karma. Because if you are not generating any new karma by your actions and your interactions, if you just sat still for an entire day and did nothing, you would allow your past karma to start unraveling and unraveling and unravel and unravel and unravel and unravel. And then the universe starts doing some crazy things. Like, you just suddenly become really aligned with the universe. I became very aligned with the universe. And this is a practice, this meditation was a practice that we had to do while we were sitting up straight. And I have a theory that sitting up straight in silent meditation allows your mind, body, and soul to align itself with the universe. You align yourself with your highest path, with your highest timeline, with your destiny, and you allow whatever happened in the past to be released through the observation. And you're not supposed to like attach any meaning to the things that come up. You're literally just supposed to observe it and just stay equanimous, which means in a state of non-reaction, because every reaction will create karma. And every reaction is rooted in basically two fundamental, okay, I'm getting into the theory now, two fundamental reactions can occur in our lives at any moment, which is craving or aversion, which means you're like avoiding a feeling. You're either avoiding a feeling or you're craving a feeling. Everything in life pretty much can be broken down into those two categories. Or there's a third option that is very hard, but if you practice Vipassana enough, this is the state of the Buddha and the monks, and this is how you live a life without suffering, which is you live in a state of non-reaction. Something happens to you, you don't react. So, like, you feel the blissful sensations moving through your body, don't get attached to those, because then you're going to crave them, and when they go away, because everything is in constant motion, you're going to be sad, and then you're going to be craving them. So craving and aversion essentially creates all suffering. And so by sitting in silent meditation and aligning yourself with the universe and allowing your karma to unravel, what I've noticed coming out on the other side of it is just a life full of abundance and synchronicities. Like, I can't make this shit up. On days where I silent meditate, which is now every day, but I've skipped a few days, in the past year, but I really try hard every single day to sit in silent meditation. And when I do, I notice that I'm aligned with the universe. I notice synchronicities left and right. I notice the universe is trying to talk to me. It's giving me messages. It's giving me signs. My day goes super well. And on days where I skip it, I just have like kind of a normal day, and maybe some shit goes down. I don't know. Like, it's happened too many times at this point to not like think that there's a direct correlation between sitting in silent meditation and living your highest timeline. You guys, silent meditation is goated. But, if you don't feel ready to go do a 10-day silent meditation retreat where you're going to be meditating for 100 hours, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. You can start so small. You can start with 1 minute a day. Like, you just it's a practice. I've been doing this for 15 years. I used to just have trouble. Common thread I've heard about people talking about meditation to me and their concerns with it is they're like, it's really hard to quiet my mind. And I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. That's the whole practice, is quieting the mind. We have this monkey brain that goes and goes and goes and goes. I mean, think about how, like, what my brain was going through in those 100 hours of silent meditation. Do you think I was just in like a blissful meditative state with no thoughts for 100 hours? No fucking way. My mind was like a total fucking aquarium most of the time. And it's because we were there for such an extended period of time and practicing for such an extended period, like 10 hours a day, that it really added up. It really added up all the time, where I was in that equanimous, aligned, universal state. And so when I came out of the silent meditation retreat, I was on the highest vibration I've ever been on in my entire life. It was freaking amazing. I had like the best 3 consecutive months of my entire life. Every single day I was flying so high, nothing could stop me. And I truly believe it's because for 10 days I sat with my shit. I released my shit. I literally went back into the brain cabinets from like childhood memories I would have never remembered otherwise. Because we're just constantly putting new stuff into our brain. So the things that happened 10, 20 years ago, how are they going to get uncovered if you just keep adding more files to the file cabinet? They're not. But when you give yourself time in meditation to just exist and not add anything new to the file cabinets, that is when you can go back and process everything. And It's so important if you want to progress on your path. It's so important if you want to live a balanced life. It's so important if you want to live a harmonious life. You guys, that's all I have to say about meditation and my meditation journey. I really, really thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night. And please like this video, comment below if this resonated with you, or subscribe if you're new here, if you enjoyed this juicy subject. Sorry, I kind of love-hate that word, but this topic just really got me going, and I've been talking for 20 minutes, so we'll catch you next time on the Pearls of Wisdom channel. Oh my god, my computer screen literally blacked out. I think it hit the 20-minute mark of me not touching anything. Okay, peace out, you guys. Catch you next time.